It was here that that large artillery duel I mentioned raged for 90 minutes. Confederates attacked several times across the open field. General Richard Oglesby was shot through the lungs, a very close personal friend of Abraham Lincoln. He was commanding one of Thomas Davies' brigades, and within moments, just next to him, Brigadier General Pleasant Hackelman went down, shot in the head. Another brigade commander. These two critical officers were taken off the battlefield in the same ambulance to be treated in the Tishomingo Hotel, right next to where the railroad depot is today. With the loss of two important leaders, the Union line began to waver, and they were falling back. Across the way in the Confederate ranks was the 7th Mississippi Battalion, among other units. The 7th Mississippi Battalion being led by Lieutenant Colonel James S. Terrell. One of the men in his command was Newt Knight. Newt Knight saw as much of battle as he wanted to here at the fighting at the White House fields, and he left. He deserted, and he and his companions returned to Jones County, where they attempted to secede from the Confederacy and establish the Free State of Jones. During that attack, Lieutenant Colonel Terrell was mortally wounded with a pistol in one hand, sword in the other. When we're finished here and you go back through the lobby, look at the exhibit room on the left and you can see the sword and the Kerr pistol made in London that he was carrying that day just 700 yards away from us. Infantry commander yelling out to his men that they have to hold. During that fighting at the White House field, that artillery duel after 90 minutes came to an end when the Union artillery chests were completely empty. They ordered back into Corinth to refill. They refilled their artillery chests 3 times during that fight, and were finally ordered into the inner line of fortifications. The 2 Union brigades on the south end of that field were nearly decimated, and it appeared that the Confederates would be able to sweep forward and in the last hour or 2 of daylight push into the town. They put bayonets on the end of their rifles and waited for the final Confederate charge. Out of ammunition, they held line just with the bayonet. The cavalry, unable to hold their flank position, went back to the horse holders, remounted, and took a new position, keeping a steady eye on the enemy as they approached on their right. when it seemed as if that Union line would collapse and General Van Dorn's army would be able to pierce into the heart of Corinth. The Confederates came within range of the forts of Battery Robinette, Battery Williams, Battery Phillips, and Battery Powell. And the heavy artillery began to savage their lines. And finally, late in the day, at 5 o'clock, a fresh division under David Stanley arrived on the battlefield to support these infantrymen as they're falling back. They were able to hold the line steady. General Van Dorn later said if he had only had one more hour of sunlight, he could have taken Corinth. And it was that firing by the heavy guns inside the forts that finally brought an end to the day's fighting at Corinth on October 3rd. That was the third shot. Batteries were able now to secure their pieces, rest for the evening, and prepare for the next day's fight. Well, I tried to tell you about the activities that occurred on the 3rd, October 3rd, the first day of battle. If you want to learn about what happened on the second day of battle, come on back here on Wednesday. We're going to be giving guided tours of the fighting right here at Battery Robinette, the fight down this slope. We have a lot to share with you. Please stop by the visitor center desk. We have sign-up sheets for these tours. Some of them are just walking as far as here to the visitor center. Others are driving tours. So please sign up. It's filling up fast. And now, please, one last thanks to all of our wonderful